Welcome back to It Resolves, where we play a new deck every single day. Today's deck is Dimir Terror. Welcome back, everybody, to another standard gameplay video. Yes, we are doing gameplay again today. I know it is Saturday. Normally, we do our collection update at this time. However, because of the new rotation and because I will be out of town, I'm pre-recording and therefore don't actually have all the cards in yet for the next collection update video. So I want to make sure we didn't miss a day, so I am still going to be putting up a video. It just happens to be gameplay today. So there you go, guys. Extra gameplay video. Really excited for today's deck. The first deck we played when Dominaria United came out about a week ago was the Is It version of the Tolarian Terror deck. So for anybody that doesn't know, the deck is focused on maximizing instants and sorceries, getting a bunch of them into the graveyard, and then powering out a Tolarian Terror above curve, or faster than your normal curve. We also have the Djinn here, which can take advantage of all of those instants and sorceries in the graveyard, and also cheapen them up. And so based on this package, I thought it'd be interesting, instead of an Is It version, to try and just see if we can make a Dimir version work. Now, again, this is more of a test. I am not suggesting this is going to be better than the Is It version in any capacity. I just thought it'd be fun to try, and so I threw this together as a bit of a test run, and we're going to see how it goes. There are a couple of oddities you will recognize right off the bat, but because we have the black side in our deck here, we get to run a couple of extra things. First of all, Rona's Vortex, a very good little bounce spell. This is basically in place of Fading Hope. 1 mana, instant speed, return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Already pretty good for 1 mana at instant speed. It's a nice little tempo play, but with the black splash, what we're able to do is kick this as well. And instead of just putting it onto, into the opponent's hand, we actually get to put it on the bottom of their deck instead. Keeping in mind, this is just a really efficient way of kind of dealing with stuff without actually having to permanently deal with stuff. And it also hits planeswalkers, which is great. We also get Cut Down. I'm only including this as a 2 of right now because a lot of what we are doing is proactive draw. And so having a couple of removal pieces I think is very important, but having an overabundance I think gets stranded in the hand and therefore not necessarily as useful for this deck. We are expecting that we can outpower most things by the time we play these because we are hoping to play them, especially the Terror, ahead of curve. And then the Djinn, of course, is just going to get stronger and stronger as we go. So the expectation is that we should be able to make those bigger than what the opponent has. Speaking of, we do have Evolved Sleeper here, 100% just testing this card out. I've only got it in here as a 2 of, but you'll notice we play a lot at instant speed in this deck. What's nice about that is we can utilize this as a mana sink in case we don't decide to play our instants. We've got counter spells, we've got removal spells, we've got bounce spells, things like that. If we don't end up using them, well, what we could do is instead invest a little bit into the Evolved Sleeper. So that's kind of where my mind is at with that. I'm not thinking that's necessarily the right call, but I did want to test it out and just see what we did with it. We do get Tainted Indulgence with the Black Splash as well. One of the better draw spells in my opinion, and in general you can throw a random instant or sorcery in the graveyard with it if you don't have that 5 mana value in your graveyard. Kaito and Lily are both planeswalkers that I thought I would try. They are only 1 of, so I'm not anticipating we may not even see them at all. But both of them are very good for the deck. Lily discarding some cards, which of course helps us, and then also just works as a removal option for us, and then of course a long-term plan to deal with the opponent's board. Kaito, of course, gives us a little bit of draw as well and is a little bit trickier to deal with. We can also throw that little ninja out there if we need to hopefully guarantee some attacks. We, again, are anticipating being bigger than the opponent's creatures for the most part. And so Kaito being able to trigger that attack step is usually pretty easy. As far as the rest of the deck, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, we do have a couple of Syncopates here. Spectral Adversary is another creature I'm just kind of testing out. Generally, I think 12 creatures might be the right number in this kind of deck. And so I liked having a 2-2 split between this and the Evolved Sleeper. So we'll just kind of see how those work out. Everything else is basically card draw, card selection, etc. So we're going to be testing this out, guys. Hopefully having a fun time and maybe getting some wins. I have tested it a little bit and it seems to be relatively good. So we'll hopefully get a couple in there as we go. Let's see what we can do, guys. Let's have some fun. All right, guys, and here we are for game number 1. How do we feel about this hand? Not amazing, but I think we can definitely keep it. A little bit awkward with the Shipwreck Marsh, but being on the play makes this a little bit easier, so we can definitely give it a shot here. Voldaren Epicure. Okay, interesting. So again, we really don't have to rush anything too much. We can actually just kind of wait and see what happens here. I will probably go for the Tainted Indulgence, I think. Expecting that, you know, we might just throw away a Thirst for Discovery or something along those lines to see where we end up. Could be a mono red deck, could be a Rakdos deck. It looks like it is, which is certainly a scary option, but we'll do the best we can. All right. There is a Blood Tithe Harvester, perfectly fine. They're going to create that blood token, and I think the play for us is just going to be to Tainted Indulgence, excuse me. I don't really love the idea of bouncing either of these two because they do come into play with some extra oomph. So let's go ahead and do that. Dig a little bit deeper into the deck. And again, I think we are in a position where we just kind of pass. I do have the Thran Portal in here as some fast mana. I don't actually love the Thran Portal in general. The Pain lands as a whole are a little bit rough for me. They're not bad, don't get me wrong. I don't really love them. Okay, so we do have some options here. We could Spectral Adversary just to kill the Blood Tithe Harvester. That is an option. It would potentially just kind of eat a removal spell as well. Alternatively, we can consider, I think we'll consider first, regardless. We will, I think, throw that into the bin. Kind of just want to get something good here. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually going to do this. I think we do need to stave off as much of the damage in these early turns as possible. If they do have a removal spell, now is obviously a great time for them to use it, which is perfectly fine by me. Looks like they are. Cool. Totally fine. We're burning cards out of the hand, so that was a bit of a throwaway, but not unanticipated anyway. We've got 3 instants in the yard currently, so we're getting somewhere. All right, let's see. I don't love our position currently. I'm going to preemptively impulse here to see what we can get. Interesting. I'm wondering what the best option is here, actually. Truthfully, the land doesn't look that bad. But I think I'm actually going to go Evolved Sleeper here. This is a bit of an odd play for sure, but we're going to try it. If they've got a removal spell, they've got a removal spell. I can't do too much about that. We will play this on blue, given that we've got the double black we need. So the idea here is if they can remove it, the anticipation is they probably will go ahead and do so. And if they can't, then phenomenal. We should be good to go. Wow, okay. This is a phenomenal little combo here. All right, sick. We'll see what we can do. Interesting. Okay. I do like the Vortex here. They also did tap out. Do we? I think we don't block yet. We are down quite a bit here, though, so we are in definitely a rough patch, no doubt. They are going to go ahead, sacrifice that blood token, get some damage off. Sure. All right. Let's see. So we can just start to evolve this, basically, if we wanted to. I think first I'm actually just going to consider kind of an odd play, potentially, but we just kind of need like a good big spell, and we don't have much at the moment. So let's do this. Okay. Actually, let's decline and let's discard these two so we can get the terror down here. I think that's the better play, and we'll just pass. All right. So we did get the Terror down, which is helpful, but again, we are in certainly a precarious position here at the moment. We do have Rona's Vortex that we can use to bounce something if we need to. We can kick it as well. So as long as we can survive a little ways, we might be okay. The ward cost here is helpful given that they've only got 4 mana available, because that locks down at least 2 of it if they're going to try and target it with anything, which is great. This is certainly scary. Curious if they actually attack. They do. Fascinating. Okay. I do anticipate they've got... I do anticipate them having the voltage surge here. So I am kind of expecting that they're gonna ping this and kill it. But I think we kind of have to just risk it and hope we don't die. They did deal quite a bit of damage. Okay. Interesting. All right, let's see what they do. So they can ping for 1 more. We basically can't go to 1 because they can always activate the anvil here. This has a counter on it. Okay. It's for its creature. All right. So that kills. This is a really nice little addition. The Weatherlight Completed makes such a good little piece to add to this little puzzle. And they have a Braids. Wow, okay. Very solid. All right, we just die. That was really good. Fantastic. That was a cool deck. Wow, Anvil got an upgrade. Okay, that was really sick. Unfortunate we didn't really get there, but you know what? It's okay. That was a really fun experience. Let's go ahead and jump into game 2. This month's Patreon rewards features some of the most impactful Lotuses in Magic's history. Check out all the details and sign up at patreon.com/itresolves. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. And yeah, I mean, we can definitely keep this. We got the lands we need. We've also got an early Consider or Rona's Vortex, depending on what we need to do here. So we'll give this a shot and hope that we can get somewhere. Let's go ahead and Consider. Ooh, definitely going to keep the Djinn. One of the best cards, in my opinion, for the deck, so easy keep. We can go ahead and play an Evolved Sleeper and then have that Rona's Vortex up as well, which is quite nice. Okay. There's the Shigeki, sure. So the question is, do we want to bounce the Shigeki? I actually am going to be a little preemptive here. The only reason being, we do have the Djinn here that is going to take advantage of every little thing in our graveyard, basically. So I think I want to go this route. Let's first attack in. And then we'll go ahead and play the Djinn now. Given that they only have green mana available at the moment, I'm not overly worried about what they could have. There's the farmland, so now they could have like a Borrowed Time or something like that, which is a little scary. They're gonna Valorous Stance. Interesting. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and evolve this up. Yeah, all right, and then we will attack. I think we'll just play Kaito and draw. Again, our goal is to basically continuously progress our board as best we can. I think we're doing a reasonable job of that without over-committing too much on the Evolved Sleeper. They're gonna have the Iganjo. Okay. Very good, for sure. All right. Let's first attack. Let's go ahead and draw one more time. Okay. I do like that quite a bit. So now what we can do, so we're in that exact position that we were kind of describing in the deck tech, which is we can Syncopate if we need to, we can Thirst if we need to, or we can just evolve the Sleeper, all of which are really great options. So like we can kind of see what we need to do as we do it. Do we want to... I don't think so. I think we let that hit. I understand they get a basic land here. I don't love that, but we get Death Touch here, so I'm not like overly worried about that. Yeah, this we will just go ahead and counter. Kind of a silly one to counter for sure, but I think it makes sense. And then I'm gonna go ahead and Thirst here. And there we go. We've got the Tolarian Terror coming down. That's exactly what we wanted. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and evolve this because we certainly can. We will attack in, given that it has Death Touch, and this can't block yet. Let's draw. Excellent. And we'll Tolarian Terror. Cool. Yeah. So, we do have the big 5/5 down. The Liberator really isn't doing too much, and the Architect is cool but not doing anything. The Topiary Stomper also isn't that scary at the moment, so it's really based on what might be in their hand. Another Topiary Stomper, perfectly fine. It's big, but it's not the end of the world for sure. What's nice is the Evolved Sleeper allows us to continuously draw if we'd like as well. That's really nice. So they may have an answer for this. I'm kind of hoping they don't, but they could. Already, I think we're seeing that Kaito is quite good for the deck, though. The draws that we've been able to accumulate off of just Kaito is pretty reasonable, in my opinion. I mean, we've gotten, what, at least 2 or 3, which is really nice, so. All right, definitely just gonna play land. So I think the question is, do we want to evolve this? And I don't know that we actually have to make that decision quite yet, do we? We can do this at instant speed. Let's attack. This is a bold attack, I understand, but I'm curious to see how they actually decide to handle this. If they do, they could just let it all through. The fact that everything has vigilance is quite scary. Okay. With that in mind, we can just double activate the Evolved Sleeper. We lose a life, but I think we're gonna just do this. So now our board is much more scary. Ooh, Lily is also quite good. All right. And we basically just refill our hand like crazy. So now Kaito's up to 7, so they're basically obligated to try and kill Kaito this turn, which they can, no problem. But they don't really have a better choice, but now we've also got a Lily coming down and a full grip. Granted, I mean, obviously most of it is just like lands and stuff, but I do think this is a good starting point. Sure. Very scary, no doubt. So we can double activate the Evolved Sleeper, but that's it. Okay, let's see. How do we want to handle this? Let's see what happens. I think I do attack in. The question is, do we attack the Wren or do we just attack them? I'm not sure I know the answer to that. Opponent really considering something. I think we just attack them, personally. Wren and 7 is scary, don't get me wrong, but at this point we're kind of okay to just go for this, I think. So the question is, do we try to... I think we Thirst, actually. So if we get a Rona's, whatever, you know what I'm talking about? We're actually in okay shape there. Okay. I'll do this. We'll see what we get. Discard one of the portals. I think that's fine. Yeah, okay. So these two are gonna trade. That's perfectly reasonable. Don't particularly care that much. Now the question is, do we go for the Djinn? And I think we do. This cheapens up everything in our hands, so if they just don't have a removal spell, which I don't anticipate them having a removal spell. Maybe they do, maybe they have a Valorous Stance, but they didn't play it on the Evolved Sleeper last turn, or the Tolarian Terror, despite obviously there being a ward cost here. That's kind of fine. Wow, they discarded a lot there. Okay. That was nice. They didn't get anything. That's very good. So none of this is capable of blocking the Djinn, which is great. So we might just be able to start filling up the yard and get in a huge attack with the Djinn. That is certainly a possibility. They can't activate the Renin 7 to get... They've already used it this turn, so they can't get a Tree Folk out of the deal. Man, what an interesting game this has turned out to be. This will probably be our last, by the way. We're kind of running up on time. So we'll do the best we can. Ah, there's the Valorous Stance. Okay. But they don't have enough to actually play it. Oh, nice. All right. So let's do this. Do we want to... I'm gonna decline. I'm actually gonna discard this and this. We're gonna try and pump up... Whoops, I did not actually mean to play that. I meant to play Impulse, but that's fine. Yeah, we'll get Thirst. We'll Impulse once more. I guess we'll get Consider. We'll throw that in the yard. We don't need it. And we will Thirst. And that should be enough. Yeah. I do think we attack with both. If they want to block the Terror, that's fine. They've got one green or white available. But nothing can block it. These don't have reach. Yep, there we go. We got the win, guys. That was awesome. That was really cool. That was the goal. That was what we were trying to do. So that was absolutely perfect, guys. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up. All right, guys, so I do apologize. Only 2 games today, but I think they were pretty good. That first deck was amazing. So sidebar from our deck currently, that new Anvil deck was really sick. I think I will try that out at some point soon. Moving back to our deck, though, this Dimir version of the deck, I actually really like it. I think we saw Kaito do just an absolute number on drawing us cards, and I think we were close to ultimating. We technically gave it up because we attacked in, but I think that was okay. We still won the game. So, like, I don't know. There's something to the black versus red debate as a secondary color for this mono blue style kind of list. That being said, I don't even know that those are mutually exclusive. Like, I wonder if there's a 3-color version that you could do or whatever. I'm sure there is. I do think you run into just kind of basic mana issues at that point, given that you'll probably need to play like tri-lands, things like that might slow your mana base down a little bit. And so I don't know that that's the right call. I think your diminishing returns kicks in a little bit. But I do really like this version. I'm very happy with that. Very, very happy. So, guys, let me know your thoughts. Do you like this version? Do you like the Is It version? Which is your preference? Maybe you've got some suggestions for the deck as well. I'm still learning the format. I know some people have been asking for more like suggestions back as far as feedback on what we could try in certain decks, things like that. Truthfully, because I'm still learning the format, I don't have all those suggestions for you yet. So I'm sorry. I will do the best I can as we start to learn the format, but right now I'm not at a place where I'm comfortable enough with the new set to be able to suggest what the best things are. So we'll get there, but we're not there yet. We're learning and having a great time doing it too. So thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you again tomorrow for some more gameplay videos.